Welcome back to Altitude Addicts. Today, we are breaking down a massive aviation dispute unfolding right on the tarmac at Toronto Pearson. A giant Russian Antonov cargo jet has been trapped on Canadian soil for years, shifting from a routine landing into an intense international legal showdown. Make sure you stick around right until the very end as we walk through the huge financial stakes, the secret arbitration battle, and whether this aircraft could actually be handed over to Ukraine. Volga-Dnepr Airlines Russian Antonov An-124 has been grounded at Toronto Pearson International Airport for over 4 years. It transformed what was initially an aviation repercussion of Canada's airspace closure into a much more significant international legal dispute. The carrier's appeal was rejected by a Canadian federal court on August 18, 2026, resulting in the permanent grounding of the massive cargo aircraft registration RA-82078. Parallel international arbitration proceedings are currently underway. It all traces back to a humanitarian flight that simply never made it out of Toronto. On February 27, 2022, registration RA-82078 arrived at Toronto Pearson carrying COVID-19 accelerated test kits directly from China. Timing was the absolute determining factor here. Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Canada prohibited Russian-owned, chartered, and operated aircraft from entering its airspace on that exact same day. The restrictions were implemented just after the growth, and An-124 had already touched down on Canadian tarmac. Consequently, it was effectively confined at Pearson rather than deliberately flown into Canada following the sudden ban. The aircraft was subsequently towed away to a remote parking position. Airport authorities then charged Volga-Dnepr over $1,000 per day for its continued presence, according to Canadian Aviation reporting. The financial repercussions have been piling up steadily for an extended period. While the aircraft has remained unavailable for any commercial operations, the initial parking cost has evolved into a substantial liability. The daily fee of roughly $1,065.60 per 24-hour period just kept ticking up endlessly. Nobody expects a routine cargo stopover to end up turning into a multi-million-dollar parking ticket nightmare, but that is genuinely where we are at. You can imagine the airline heads staring at those invoices piling up in the mail. And that sudden stall quickly shifted gears from simple grounding straight into full-blown government seizure. In June 2023, the dispute escalated significantly when Canada implemented its Special Economic Measures Act to seize the aircraft. Registration RA-82078 was specifically identified in Canada's first 2023 order authorizing seizure and government control. Ottawa subsequently replaced that order with a more specific 2025 regulation. The revised rule encompassed the aircraft and identified a broader group of individuals and entities believed to own, possess, or control it. The current Canadian order expressly identifies the jet as a number An-124-100-150, manufactured by Aviastar SP and located at Pearson. The aircraft is also seized to prevent any transactions from occurring except under the authority of the Canadian government, which assumes direct possession. This marks a major distinction in how assets are handled. The aircraft is no longer just an asset immobilized by an aviation prohibition because a legal mechanism has been established in Canada to take complete control. If you are enjoying this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to the Altitude Addicts channel so you never miss another deep dive. Stay right here, because up next, we are getting into Canada's precise accusations against the airline and the secret treaty battle Volga-Dnepr is using to fight back. Canada's case against Volga-Dnepr rests on serious allegations regarding sanctions circumvention. Canadian authorities have argued that Volga-Dnepr was not simply an ordinary Russian airline caught off guard by airspace closures. Canada argues that Volga-Dnepr significantly helped Russia bypass sanctions to acquire restricted goods tied directly to sensitive and military sectors. According to the most recent ruling of the federal court, Volga-Dnepr had failed to establish that the Canadian authorities' decision was unreasonable. The court also determined that procedural impartiality requirements had not been violated. Ottawa's ongoing detention of the aircraft is therefore a component of a broader sanctions policy targeting Russian assets associated with state activities. Volga-Dnepr, however, calls the entire move an unlawful expropriation. The airline contends that Canada's actions constitute illegal confiscation of its private commercial property. The company has pursued the dispute through international investment arbitration under the historic Canada-USSR Agreement on the Promotion and Reciprocal Protection of Investments. Fighting a modern sanctions war using an old Soviet-era investment agreement is about as wild as it gets in aviation law. But lawyers are pulling out every single stop they can find. The case is currently active and is being conducted under the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law framework, as confirmed by Canada's Global Affairs Department. Volga-Dnepr is requesting the aircraft's return, or, in the event that this is not feasible, compensation of at least $100 million. This case holds particular significance because it evaluates the compatibility of Canada's investment protection obligations with its asset seizure regime. The arbitration is characterized as a thorough examination of Canada's policy of confiscating property belonging to sanctioned persons. It also tests the country's obligations under its older bilateral investment treaty with the Soviet Union, according to academic analysis published in 2026. Do not go anywhere just yet. We are about to look into Ukraine's direct role in this dispute, the massive challenge of getting a dead jet flying again, and what this means for global aviation law. Ukraine sits right at the very center of why this dispute is escalating so rapidly. The aircraft's eventual destination has become another major element of the entire controversy. Canada has actively sought to use seized Russian assets to support Ukraine. As a result, the An-124 evolved from a frozen sanctions asset into a potential source of strategic heavy airlift capacity for Ukraine. The strategic idea has obvious and undeniable operational significance. As one of the world's largest operational cargo aircraft, the An-124 Ruslan is capable of transporting exceptionally heavy and outsized loads across vast distances. Ukraine's Antonov Airlines has a long history of providing heavy lift services for humanitarian, commercial, and NATO-related missions, and currently operates active Volga An-124 aircraft. Earlier Ukrainian reporting detailed attempts to acquire Russian-owned An-124s that were stranded across Canada and Germany. The primary goal was to incorporate those valuable airframes directly into Ukraine's operating heavy lift fleet. Nevertheless, the process of transferring a giant physical aircraft is significantly more complex than the simple modification of its ownership paperwork. A massive jet sitting on cold concrete for 4 straight years does not just fire up on the first crank, you know? The aircraft's ongoing maintenance, airworthiness certifications, deep structural inspections, engine integrity, and avionics systems all create massive logistical headaches. The sheer cost of returning it to safe commercial service has grown immensely after 4 uninterrupted years of sitting idle on the apron. This brings us straight into a legal battle with far wider global consequences. The dispute surrounding registration RA 82078 has moved far beyond the fate of a single grounded transport airframe. The primary concern for Russia and Volga-Dnepr is whether a foreign government can convert sanctions immobilization into irrevocable seizure and transfer to a third country. The case is a Canadian attempt to enforce sanctions against an entity associated with bypassing restrictions and to repurpose those assets for Ukraine. Canada's current regulations leave little ambiguity about the aircraft's immediate legal status. Registration RA 82078 remains under direct government seizure and control. Nevertheless, the international arbitration continues to move forward behind closed doors. This implies that the seizure's ultimate legal and financial repercussions have not yet been fully determined. The Russian An-124 in Toronto has become a stark symbol of shifting international asset laws after more than 4 years on the ground. What started as a single cargo plane trapped by sudden airspace closures has transformed into a high-stakes test of international property rights and sanctions policy. That is all for this breakdown from Altitude Addicts, so drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like button, and fly safe until next time. We thank the people who have liked and shared the videos and subscribed to the channel. We also thank the people who have hyped the videos,